Are you under a spell? Most people are under spells they did not cast themselves. And these spells come from our family, from our teachers, education, from society, from our culture, and from religion. And as witches, it's up to us to reclaim our power, reclaim our sovereignty, and break the spells and the curses that have been placed upon us, either consciously or in most cases, unconsciously. So in this video, I want to talk about the unseen enchantments that shape our thoughts and beliefs, that social matrix that programs us from birth. Because witchcraft at its core is about awareness and transformation, reclaiming your power to choose your beliefs, to choose your path, and to choose your magic. So today I'm going to show you how to unbind those invisible cords and break the spells that are cast upon you with a really simple ritual so that you can live and create from your own will. My name is Sandra. I've been on the witchcraft path now for over 35 years. I'm the author of Crafting Your Wiccan Path, and I help other witches who are struggling to start a practice or deepen a practice to fully, confidently integrate magic into their everyday lives with ease. And a huge part of that integration is being able to step into who you truly are and to reclaim your power, your individuality, so that you can live a life of joy, peace, and a sense of empowerment. Now, a lot of witches feel overwhelmed by all of the information out there, and witchcraft itself has been put under a number of spells. So it's not surprising that a lot of people are very confused about where to start and what to do. And often what witches do is we try to do everything at once. So I've created a masterclass called How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice, which shows you where to start and then how to pace yourself along the way of a 12-month program of learning. To access that masterclass, there's a link in the description field below this video, and you can also find it on my website, mysterywitchschool.com. So first I want to talk about the hidden spells of society. There are a lot of spells out there in society. We're a social species, and a lot of our survival depends on the survival of the collective. The only problem with the collective is that often we have to sacrifice our individuality in order to fit in with the collective. And at times, that can be a total sacrifice where you're not even allowed to be an individual. You have to go with what the collective is saying and doing. Otherwise, it's not safe. You're booted out or you're ridiculed. Now, some of you may have experienced this growing up in families where you couldn't be who you were, schooling systems where you couldn't go against what the education system deemed to be the right way to be, society in general, political ideologies, culture, religion, all of these places where you have to be a certain person in order to fit in. Now, witchcraft, pretty much by nature, is an individual form of practice. Traditionally, witches didn't hang out together in groups. They're actually solitary, independent people. It's only in more recent times that we've formed covens and got into groups. So there's often an element of individuality within people who are attracted to magic in general and to the craft. You don't have to fit into all of these societal norms and standards and the really strong spells of can't and should. So if you find yourself not doing the things you want to do in your life, even practicing the craft, because you've got beliefs that you can't or that you shouldn't, so you can't do something, you shouldn't do something, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, maybe you were told as a child you were stupid, maybe you were told as a child that children should be seen and not heard, maybe when you did try to put a point across, maybe when it comes to a family and they disagreed with you, you got into trouble, maybe you were even punished for going against your family or going against the schooling. And so you've learned to hide yourself. You've learned how to be someone else so that you could survive within the collective system. But as an adult, that doesn't work anymore. It may keep you safe, but it's not going to keep you happy. And as a magical practitioner, it's all about knowing thyself. And if you're taking witchcraft on as a spiritual path, then you have to risk being more of an individual while you're still being able to operate and also be helpful to the collective at the same time. So it's not about being completely rebellious where it's all about you and no one else. That's an extreme. But the other extreme is that you can't be you at all and you've got to be like everyone else. What we're looking for is the middle road, where you still have your interests in the collective, you still want to be part of the collective, you still want to be helpful and even of service, but you also want to maintain who you truly are. You want to maintain your sovereignty at the same time. All of these spells come down through authorities. They're top down. Someone at the top makes the decision. A collective of people agree that that's how it should be, and then it spreads to everybody then having to agree that something is a certain way. Once again, as witches, we break free of that. We start to step aside and question things and come up with our own ideas about life, the universe, and everything. Now, some of the ways that you can break these binds is to go into yourself and do the shadow work. Find out what you're telling yourself about yourself. If you find you're not allowing yourself to do the things you truly want to do, what are you saying to yourself? What are your beliefs that are telling you you can't do that? You're not good enough, not lovable enough, not powerful enough. What will people say? If you do it, you'll be seen as greedy. You'll be selfish. What will people think? You'll feel shame. You'll feel guilt. All of those things, they're the spells that have kept you down here rather than being up here. So if you want to truly step into who you are, step into your witch power, to have a life of joy, peace, and empowerment, you have to know what these spells are and how they're affecting you in your life. Other ways that you can work with these is to do spells and magic to start to break through what these spells are. I'm going to show you a really easy spell breaking spell to begin to break some of these spells and start the process of liberating yourself. Other things you can do is to study spirituality, study witchcraft, study magic in general. Learn as much as you can about metaphysics and the occult and all of these things that maybe in the past you felt are forbidden or actually have been forbidden in the past, in order to just learn what else is out there. And why have these things been hidden from us and forbidden for so long? Another thing you can do is take a stand to take back your sovereignty, to take back your power over yourself, because every being is a sovereign being. Yes, we live in a collective, and within that collective, we help each other out. But that doesn't mean that we have to be carbon copies of each other, that we have to be uniform, that we have to do whatever the authority tells us to do, whatever that is. We can still be who we truly are. Now, I'm not talking about total anarchy or chaos. I'm talking about knowing when it's time to step into your sovereignty and when it's time to be part of the collective and give your knowledge, your service to others as well. So now we're going to do a spell to break some of those binds and spells that you're under that maybe you didn't know you were under. This is a really simple spell. All you need is a black candle. And I have a statue of Hekate here and also some flowers for my altar. But it's a really, really simple spell. So like any magic, make sure you've prepared your space, cleansed your space. You could set up in a circle and do the spell in a circle, or you can just project light around where you are to clear the space energetically. And then when you're ready, it's time to anoint the candle. Now, because this is a spell breaker spell or a curse breaker spell, I'm going to dress the candle in dragon blood oil. And because I want to break the curse, I'm going to anoint the candle from the bottom of the candle to the tip of the candle. Now, this candle actually has been lit before because I'm just using it as a demonstration. But you would use a brand new candle for this. Then light your candle. And as you look into the flame, just ask yourself, how have these spells been affecting my life? What shoulds and can'ts have been stopping me from being who I truly am? And just reflect on what those are and project them into the flame. You could see the phrases, I'm not good enough, I'm stupid, who do you think you are? All of those things going into the candle flame. And you could even see them going into the candle itself. And then say, black flame, I call to thee. Take the fear that binds me. Burn it down, consume, transform. Clear my mind, renew my form. I step into my courage bright, no longer bound. I claim my light. Dark flame, ignite within my mind. Clear the clutter, leave the blind. Thoughts aligned with truth and sight. Reveal the path, bring in a light. I focus, center, vision pure. With this flame, my mind is sure. And let the candle burn for some time. You want to let it burn at least 3/4 of the way down. So you'll be spending some time with this spell. So I do recommend you use a small chime candle or a half-sized taper candle so that it doesn't take long to burn down to that 3/4 mark. And then once it's burned down to where you want it to be, it's time to snuff the candle flame out, and then you're going to take the candle and you're going to break it. And as you're breaking the candle, you're breaking the spell. And then say, cords that tie, I now undo. Release the hold, your power through. Shadow fire, sever, cleanse and free. All that is not mine, let it be. I rise unbound, my path my own. By this flame, I stand alone. And then feel into what it feels like to step into your own power, to take back your sovereignty. And then when you really feel into that feeling, just say, I write my own code. I live by my own magic. And then when you're ready, close the spell, take your broken candle and throw it away outside of your premises. You could throw it in a bin, you could bury it away from your home, but just make sure that it's gone away from your premises. So every witch at some point has to break away from the collective dream and create their own. And so if you are ready to reprogram that energy, to step into your true witch self and start practicing the craft, learning from the very basics of energy work all the way up to your own self-initiation, understanding magic, working spells, casting circles, understanding how to work with the elements and the tools, connecting to the deities, working the Sabbats, connecting to the cycles of the year, and connecting to who you truly are. I do invite you to join the Mystery Witch School or 101 Academy. It's my 12-month course in Wicca and Witchcraft, where you have a group of like-minded people to socialize with and to learn with, as well as me as your mentor, showing you step by step everything you need to know along the way. So you don't have to do this on your own. You're actually learning how to be who you truly are within a collective of like-minded people, so that you have the support of the collective, but you also have the freedom to discover who you truly are as a witch on your path. The link is in the description field below this video, and you can also find it on my website, mysterywitchschool.com. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Blessed be.